down, and he's now going to be your curl flat defender. Okay? Now what you do is you slam your free safety down, and he becomes your hook curl defender. Okay? Now you take the corner and bail him out to a deep third. You take the right safety and you spin him to the middle deep third, and now you take the right corner and he plays a deep third. Okay? Now what you're going to have to do out of this concept is you're probably going to have to slide your backers a little bit to the weak side, because now what's going to happen is this Willie linebacker is going to be a flat force defender on the weak side. Okay? So again, you may have to do some things, all right? You may have to run some exchanges here. Maybe you run, all right, the twist exchange to cancel out the A gap here so that your Mike can help to the weak side B gap if your Willie is a weak side D gap player. All right? So I think you got to worry about weak side runs a little bit. I think you got to worry about weak side throws a little bit. Okay, because of a deep third concept with an inside Willie linebacker that's pushed out. Now, if you're willing to give those things up, then that's fine. Okay, but I think what you're doing now, by slamming down, all right, into a 3 deep concept, I think what you're doing now is you're helping defend the bubble, because now you got 2 immediate, all right, curl flat, hook curl players. You can be outside of 2 with leverage. All right, so now you got a player that can turn this right back to the free safety who's in the hook curl. I think you're helping defend the spacing concepts, because now, all right, if they were to run, vertical double out concepts, now you've got a curl flat player and a hook curl player that can expand on the out of number 3. So I think you're helping your spacing concepts. I think you're helping the bubble. I think you're helping perimeter runs, but I think you're weakening your weak side, okay, D-gap runs.
Yeah, man.
All right, you can help that by gap exchanging and bumping, but I think you're also weakening your single receiver coverage, all right, while at the same time understanding that this now becomes 1 high, which right away gives you the threat of 4 verts. Now you've got to split 4 verticals and understand how to defend 4 verticals out of a 1 high structure. All right, so I always try to avoid 1 high structures when I'm playing 4 wide teams, because I don't want to give up 4 verticals. Okay, but again, it's a change-up, and it's something that you're disguising, and it's something that you're using with your other packages. Okay, this would just simply be called roll. Now, the other thing you could do, all right, is you could roll with a corner down. All right, so what you can do is you can leave your corner there, all right, and now what you can do from here is you can roll both safeties. Now what you can do is you can leave your corner down, maybe to press funnel the 1 if they're a quick game team, all right, out leverage the bubble, all right. You can now take this safety and you can drop him down to be, he now becomes, all right, your hook curl defender. This now becomes your curl flat defender, and now you can spin both safeties, where he now becomes your deep third, and he now becomes your deep middle third, okay? So again, I think you can roll a lot of different ways. You can roll with the safety slam down, you can roll with the corner slam down. Again, I would roll based on what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to take away, but it's still a strong side 3 deep roll, so you're still going to have the same strengths here, but you're going to have the same weaknesses on the backside. Okay, so again, when defending trips, I think it comes down to, number 1, what are you comfortable with? Number 2, what are they trying to run? Okay, and most importantly for me, I think you have to be able to take away what they're going to run, so you have to have at least one version of a coverage that balances out the other. So if you get a version of coverage like mix, where you're weak to perimeter runs, but real strong to weak side runs and weak side throws, then I think you need a version of roll or stress, where you're stronger to trip side runs, but you're a little bit weaker to single side throws. Now you can go into a game plan with your defense, and you can say, all right, what does this team like to do out of trips? I think we need to play more mix today. I think we need to play more roll today. Where the following week, the same concepts versus a different team in 3x1. Well, hey, I think we need to play a bunch of roll. They don't like to go to the single, and they don't run any speed option weak. So I think we want to roll or trap a bunch this week and not play as much mix. All right, so now what you've got is you've got concepts built off your base defensive package, okay, that are defending what the other team is trying to run by understanding their strengths and your weaknesses. Okay? One thing I don't suggest having new coverages to trips. I don't suggest drawing things up to trips. What I do suggest is making sure that your concepts are taught every week. They're simple for your kids to play, okay? And they're things that you're going to do every week versus trips, not something that you just draw up in the dirt.
That's a bad throw.
As usual, I think what you need to do is make sure your kids know your system, make sure your kids can play your system. All right, and again, the point is, we're always trying to make our kids play fast with less confusion. Okay, if you don't play fast, you won't play good.
It's all right, good, man. That was real bad.
Hey, this is Coach Mac, playfastfootball.blogspot.com, and today we're going to be talking about defending the spread with quarters concepts. And trying to go through the options or the possibilities that you'll have to play 2x2 sets and 3x1 sets. What I think are the main options based on standard 4-2-5 information, TCU, North Carolina, Stony Brook, some of the college programs that use the 4-2-5, what the options are and how I think those options fit into what you need to do in high school. All right, first thing we're going to talk about is 2x2, and we're going to take a look at the read side, okay, of 2x2, all right, and a robber concept, a quarters concept, and a 2-read concept to that side. The read side is going to be the side we set the free safety on, okay, and that's going to be the side that we are going to declare what we want to do, robber, quarters, or 2-read. So we take a look at robber first. Okay, what robber is going to allow us to do, it's going to allow us to play the down safety outside the number 2 receiver. All right, what that's going to do is it's going to put the down safety in a little bit better position to play, all right, and handle perimeter runs. It's going to put him in a little bit better position to protect the field corner in the flat. Okay, but what it's also going to do is it's going to make the free safety fold in on runs a lot quicker since the down safety is further removed. Okay, in a robber concept, what would happen is
turn up, say they want fried, let it burn up. Trying to break my habits, but some days I gotta burn up. What's in my wallet? The keys to their heart is in the deposit.
The corner would be more of a half-type player, which means the corner can help on the wheel routes by number 2. All right, how you handle number 2 to the flat is one of the big decisions you have to make in your 2x2 concepts. In a robber concept, all right, the down safety is going to be a curl flat player, all right, but he's not going to take the wheel of number 2. Okay, and the reason for that is the corner as a half player and the safety reading off the release of number 2, all right, allows us to handle number 1 and 2 with the corner, all right, and the safety if we're going to get the post wheel or if we're going to get the wheel route by number 2. What it also does is it takes the safety and makes him not responsible for the wheel by 2, which allows the safety to hang curl flat to be able to play number 3 out of the backfield, which means the Mike safety doesn't have that long of a run to try and run and expand with number 3 in the flat. Okay, so the thing about robber, to me though, that is a little bit troublesome is I can't get a double on that number 1 receiver if number 2 goes to the flat. Okay, if I were to play the safety on the wheel route, then I could get a double on the number 1 receiver with the free safety and the corner on the post route or the curl route or the dig route. Okay, but by taking the safety and running him with the wheel, all right, now one of the potential problems I have is 3 to the flat, my linebacker's got a long run. Okay, so in a generic robber concept, we would have the safety, the down safety outside. He'd be a curl flat player. He'd have the swing deep of 3. He wouldn't have to handle number 2 on the wheel. All right, your corner is going to be a deep half player. Your free safety is going to play robber rules off the release of number 2. Okay, so if 2 went vertical, your free safety is going to have to match it. If 2 goes underneath, we can rob 1. If 2 goes to the flat, we can rob 1. Okay, but depending on how you choose to do it, and not all teams do it the same, but just generally speaking, if your corner is going to hang on the wheel and get an out call, all right, by your free safety, if 2 goes out, if he gets an out, or a wheel call, now that's going to put your free safety on the post, your corner on the wheel, your down safety in better position to handle the running back in the flat. Okay, robber gives you a chance to have good force on perimeter runs. All right, it gives you a chance to defend that corner, okay, in the field side flat. All right, it also gives you a chance to play the corner over the top of some of the wheel routes, let your safety be able to handle it back in the flat. Okay? Now, if you were a quarters concept team, a lot of the things would be similar to Robert. You would align up. If you say traditional quarters, though, your safety would be the player responsible for 2 to the flat, and he'd handle the wheel. All right, if you say true pattern match quarters concepts. So your safety would handle, your down safety would handle 2 to the flat. He's got outside leverage on him, so he's in a good position. 2 to the flat, carry 2 on the wheel, means I can now double number 1 on all outside releases by number 2. So my free safety can get a double on 1 on all outside releases by 2. But what's going to happen is if my down safety is running with the wheel, that puts my mic in a bind having to expand with number 3 in the flat. Okay, so now my mic's got a longer run to 3 in the flat, all right? If that back gets the ball in the flat, my mic might have to make a tackle in the open field, okay? But what it does, it allows me to double cover the number 1 receiver. It still keeps my down safety in a position to be outside leverage, to be in a better run support position, and it also protects the field side flat a little bit more. The difference would be my corner would be an all of 1 except for shallow cross player. So instead of defending the deep half, my corner would be more responsible for defending the number 1 receiver, all right, on all of his deep routes. All right, again, we would give up the hitch, we would give up the out, the safety underneath would have to help us in the flat, and we'd rally to all those throws, okay? But the quarters concept would allow me to get a double on their number 1 receiver. It's still going to make the free safety be a further drop-down player in the run game, or at least a harder, quicker drop-down player because of the position of the down safety. Okay, so that would be very similar, quarters and robbers, very similar concepts, a little bit different, in my opinion, how you teach your corner to play that and how you teach your kids to play 2 to the flat and the wheel route. All right, the last one, all right, which is my suggestion on, or my favorite adjustment to play is 2 read, okay? What 2 read's going to do is 2 read is going to put the safety inside of the number 2 receiver, okay? What that's going to allow the safety to do is that's going to allow the safety to fall back in on runs a lot quicker. Okay? But now what that's going to do is it's going to put us in a position where we've got to handle 2 to the flat. And the way we're going to do that is the corner is going to be responsible now for number 2 to the flat. Okay? And he'll also be responsible for the wheel. Okay? So my corner and my free safety are both going to read off the release of number 2. So if 2 goes to the flat, the corner's going to play and the safety's going to go to 1. This allows me to stay in a safety support structure where now with my down safety, for me to left safety, he's closer to the box to fall in on runs and quarterback runs. He's inside of 2, so he's not in a position to play him to the flat. He now becomes a curl defender and a swing deep of 3 defender, okay? And it now allows my safety to read off of the block of number 2, so if they try to pin the down safety, the free safety becomes the support player. Okay? It weakens me in the field side flat, though, because with my left safety inside of number 2, I'm going to give up a bunch of these field side flat throws. I choose to play 2 read more for me because I want to fall in on inside runs quicker. I want to fall in on quarterback runs quicker. I want to make that offensive coordinator and quarterback throw to the field side flats, and I want to keep the ball in front of me all night long. So I'm going to defend the post. I'm going to give up. For me, the 10-yard out by number 2 and the 10-yard dig by number 2 are going to have to be handled by my underneath droppers. Okay, I know a lot of people, if number 2 gets past the linebacker level, that free safety's got to play a man-to-man. How you define vertical is up to you. But for me, I'd rather defend the post and give up the 10-yard out and the 10-yard dig. 2 reasons. I don't think a lot of coaches can call those routes consistently. I think they want to go over the top. I don't think a lot of quarterbacks in high school can throw the 10-yard out and the 10-yard dig consistently. So within my game plan, I'm going to give those things up in playing 2 read. I'm going to ask my underneath coverage guys to do a good job covering those and not ask my free safety to aggressively jump those. And I'm going to defend the post to the best of my ability with my corner and my free safety and make you matriculate down the field to beat me. Okay, so to the read side, all right, here's a real quick version of your 3 options to the read side, all right, with split field coverage concepts. You can play a robber concept, you can stay with a quarters concept, or you could play 2 read. Okay? Again, there's some other sites out there. Football is Life, Deuce's site has some stuff. Ron CLD, Hit Football has some stuff. Coach Hoover's 425. There's a lot of 425 sites out there. I want to give you my opinion on what you could play and how you could play those things. Okay?